Here's an interesting book called Owl Moon, and it's by Jane Yolen. She's a very famous author. We had a supermoon the other day. I bet you saw it in Shakopee and in Las Vegas. It was late one winter night, long past my bedtime, when Pa and I went owling. There was no wind. The trees stood still as giant statues. And the moon was so bright the sky seemed to shine. Somewhere behind us, a train whistle blew, long and low like a sad, sad song. You see the little people right here going owling? So they're going out at night. They live in the country. I could hear it through the woolen cap Pa had pulled down over my ears. A farm dog answered the train, and then a second dog joined in, and they sang out trains and dogs for a real long time. And when their voices faded away, it was quiet as a dream. We walked toward the woods, Pa and I. Do you think owls live in the woods? Ooh, what's that? Looks like a fox. Or a coyote? Maybe a fox. Our feet crunched over the crisp snow and little gray footprints followed us. Pa made a long shadow, but mine was short and round. I had to run after him every now and then to keep up, and my short, round shadow bumped after me. But I never called out. If you go owling, you have to be really quiet. That's what Pa always says. I've been waiting to go owling with Pa for a long, long time. What do you think owling is? We reached the line of pine trees, black and pointy against the sky, and Pa held up his hand. I stopped right where I was and waited. He looked up, as if searching the stars, as if reading a map up there. The moon made his face into a silver mask. Then he called, "Hoo, hoo, hoo," the sound of a great horned owl. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Can you make that sound? Look at how he's holding his hand. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Again he called out, and then again, and after each call he was silent. And for a moment we both listened, but there was no answer. Pa shrugged. I shrugged. I was not disappointed. My brothers all said, sometimes there's an owl, and sometimes there isn't. Oh, look what's in the tree. What do you think that is? Looks like a raccoon. We walked on. I could feel the cold as if someone's icy hand was palm down on my back, and my nose and the tops of my cheeks felt cold and hot at the very same time, but I never said a word. If you go owling, you have to be quiet, and you have to make your own heat. He's got his boots on. We went into the woods. The shadows were the blackest things I had ever seen. They stained the white snow. My mouth felt furry, for the scarf over it was wet and warm. I didn't ask what kinds of things hide behind black trees. In the middle of the night, when you go owling, you have to be brave. So they're out in the middle of the night. Then we came to a clearing in the dark woods, and the moon was high above us. It seemed to fit exactly over the center of the clearing, and the snow below it was whiter than the milk in a cereal bowl. Look how white the snow is. I sighed, and Pa held up his hand. At the sound, I put my mittens over the scarf, over my mouth, and listened hard. And then Pa called, "Woo, woo, woo, I looked so hard, my ears hurt, and my eyes got cloudy with the cold. Pa raised his face to call out again, but before he could open his mouth, an echo came, threading its way through the trees. Hoo, 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 hoo. What is echoing them? She looks cold. Pa almost smiled, and then he called back, hoo, 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 just as if he and the owl were talking about supper, or about the woods, or the moon, or the cold. I took my mitten off the scarf, off my mouth. I almost smiled. The owl's call came closer from high up in the trees on the edge of the meadow. Nothing in the meadow moved. All of a sudden, an owl shadow, part of the big tree shadow, lifted off and flew right over us. We watched silently with heat in our mouths, the heat of all those words we had not spoken. The shadow hooted again. I can't see the owl in the picture, can you? Pa turned on his big flashlight and caught the owl just as it was landing on a branch. Look how big that owl is. For 1 minute, 3 minutes, maybe even 100 minutes, we stared at one another. Look at the owl staring at them. Then the owl pumped its great wings and lifted off the branch. Like a shadow without sound, it flew back into the forest. Time to go home, Pa said to me. I knew then I could talk. I could even laugh out loud. But I was a shadow as we walked home. Look at the owl and see the dad with the flashlight saying goodbye, owl. Wouldn't that be fun to do in the dark? When you go owling, you don't need words or warm or anything but hope. That's what Pa says. The kind of hope that flies on silent wings under a shining owl moon. There they're walking home. Oh, the Pa's is carrying her. The end. I love you.